Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. So, thank you for joining this session called Manufacturing Innovation for to come out of the crisis or accelerate out of a crisis. Okay, so myself, Ram Shankar, Chief Executive Officer of Maxbyte Technologies, an industrial digitization solutions company, have deployed more than 30 plus industries into converting into their digital transformation and helping them in their journey. So now I also myself I was previously working for General Electric Aviation. Then I was with ZF. Then I was with Tech Mahindra on IoT consulting. Then started my company along with my friends and colleagues. So it's a 4.5 years old company. It's purely on Industry 4.0 or industrial digitization area. So that's a quick introduction about myself. And I have Mr. Ram. So it's an innovator and TEDx speaker. I always inspire about his speech and his thought all towards innovation. So Ram, a quick introduction about yourself, please.
Hello, good morning, everybody, and good afternoon to those in India. So today is a very lucky day for all of you because you get two Ram Shankars for the price of one.
Yeah.
You cannot beat that offer anywhere. So, as about myself, I am a chartered mechanical engineer. I was originally from India in a city called Bangalore, but I've moved to the UK in 2005, where I worked in multiple industry sectors, from renewable energy, where I was one of the people certifying what was the world's biggest wind turbine gearbox, to working on some nuclear projects for the likes of Sellafield and Rolls-Royce Limited when I was with Tata Steel. I set up Equitas Engineering in May 2015 with the intention of doing product development, delivering innovation, doing mechanical engineering solutions as a startup. And now we're looking at, in addition to what we do, we also do sustainability. And with our new relationship with our friends in India, Maxbyte, we're also setting up industry for deployment consulting solutions. So today we're going to have an interesting chat between Ram and Ram, talking about digitization and everything that includes industrial digitization for manufacturers of all sizes. So yeah, that's just me done for now. Yep.
Yeah, thanks, Ram. So, we both were discussing for last a month ago when seeing this pandemic. So, what could be the thoughts going around the manufacturing leaders? What could be their challenges? What are their essentials for the current situation? And that's a discussion we had. Then we found that okay, we should conduct a webinar as an objective, saying that so what are their challenges on how digital or the industry 4.0 related technologies can help them so that they can accelerate out of the crisis. So that's a thought process we had and created this webinar.
Yeah.
So yeah, with this actually, I would like to start with, have a question with Ram. Ram, from your experience as an engineering or an innovation services company across, United Kingdom. So what are the questions on every UK manufacturing business leaders in the mind right now? So what's your thought on that?
Right. Okay. So now, the reason we are doing this is because we are in the midst of a crisis, which is a global pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Now, before let's go back to, let's say, towards autumn 2019, roundabout when you and I met for the first time, Ram.
Yeah.
Now, roundabout then, there was a lot of questions around the whole digitization that manufacturers had. Now, a lot of the perceptions around digitization are the barriers. So the barrier number one for the manufacturers was the perceived cost of digitization.
Mm-hmm.
The idea being, oh, we only see the big companies talking about it, therefore it's got to be expensive, therefore we don't want it. The second thing, manufacturers, especially the SME ones, that the concerns they had is skills. With skills, there's two things. One is finding the right people, which has been a challenge. Secondly, you find somebody and you upskill them, then the other challenge is they go somewhere else for a better offer or a better career opportunity. And then the third one was about cybersecurity. When we talk about industrial digitization, 80% of the conversation is around sensors, industrial Internet of Things, data generation, data transmission, data processing, which means when you have so much of data flying around, the big question comes around cybersecurity. How did you ensure that the systems are safe and secure and there will be no external attacks? And then one final thing I want to talk about is, another thing is, it's not a perception, but it's a real thing, is A lot of companies operate with legacy systems. If you walk into a company today, you will still
Yeah.
see Windows NT, Windows 2000, and all these old systems.
Hmm.
So when you have such a legacy infrastructure, how much time do you need to spend?
Yeah.
How much resource you need to modernize everything?
Hmm.
That's what was going on up until the virus hit us. But
Yeah.
today, when we talk about, before the crisis happened, there were some things that were thought unthinkable. Nobody thought we would all be working from home. Nobody thought we would
Yeah.
be using Zoom meetings. But
Yes.
perceptions are changing. What was thought
Yeah.
unthinkable before the crisis is now become common. I mean, we are talking on webinar, we're doing Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
So I think the culture of people will change eventually, but we'll come to that in a bit. So, but
Yeah.
like the challenges, basically that's what they are with regards to what we do: cost, perception, cybersecurity, skills, and legacy systems. Yeah, but we'll
Yeah.
come to
So
the
yeah, that's right, Ram. I have another perspective also.
yeah.
The crisis is not new to the world. For the last 2 decades, if you agree with me, there are two crises we have seen. One in the 2000 and another in the 2008, and maybe the similarly might happen in the past also. But each time, people reinvented or innovated themselves, innovated the industry, innovated the business models. For example, for the last 10 years or so, we are seeing the Ubers of the world, and we are seeing the such kind of rental models or consumption based model. So those innovations were happened whenever there is a deep or crisis happens. So likewise, in your opinion, so what are the some of the key elements, okay, of a company should be focusing on to restart or manage the future of their company and also for the UK manufacturing?
Wow. Okay. So, with regards to restarting out of a crisis, like I was telling you earlier when we ended the last question,
Yeah.
is about things that were once thought unthinkable are now considered normal. People
Hmm.
working from home,
Yeah.
eliminating unnecessary commute,
Yeah.
and there was to sum it up, there are three things that need to change and they need to align. First
Hmm.
thing is people. Now, look at any organization or look at the world around you. It's all about people. People make decisions.
Hmm.
People design products. People develop products. People operate machines. People buy and use the products. It's
Hmm.
all about the people. So the first thing we
Yeah.
need is the people with the ability to have the mental resilience, to be able to have
Okay.
critical thinking, and to be able to have problem solving skills.
Hmm.
Right. The next
Yeah.
thing we need to talk about is the culture. Now, there used to be a culture in so many organizations where you have to be in at 8 o'clock. You cannot leave before 5. You will monitor your throughput based on your timesheets. And we've always done things this way. We don't want to change. So the culture has to change. And again, the culture has three things. One is leading from the top, where the leadership has to take the
Yeah.
initiative to change culture. The second one is empowering from the bottom up, which means every
Hmm.
employee at every level of the organization, from the machine operator to the chief executive,
Yeah.
should be able to should have the freedom to contribute to the innovation capabilities of the company.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
finally, there should be a focus on continuous improvement.
Yeah.
There is no good way to do something. There's always a better way.
Hmm.
So these are the three things about the culture. Finally, process. Process
Hmm.
helps us do things. Process help us do things in the most economical and cost effective way. And
Yep.
processes help us standardize what we do. And processes are important for us to do things, but processes should not be for the sake of having a process.
Yep.
And having a flexible idea of processes and standardization drives improvement and continuous improvement. So we need to align our people, we need to align our culture, we need to align our process, and
Yep.
look at the new ways of working in order to accelerate out of this crisis. It won't be
Yep.
easy, but it has to be done.
Yeah, so that's a great thought, Ram. I have a few more points. When you talk about the people, I'll also add to that. The people readiness also in the manufacturing,
Yeah,
is also pointed that the whomever, say for example, operator in a shop floor, whenever
yeah,
they are coming to the shop floor, so even their families are waiting to come back. So without this COVID-19 situation, so
yeah,
how we can safeguard them, okay,
yeah,
with help of by any means.
yeah,
Yeah, and another, because without workforce, it is difficult for people to to convert a raw material into a product and ship it to the end customer. So that's a very
yeah,
important piece. Now, we are now, always, of course, the people are priority. Now it's something, it's a very high priority to make them more healthy and safer back to home. And another area is the materials or supply chain. Because of the current situations, different economics, the logistics challenges were there. So is how can we track the current the material supply chain and how it can come inside and it can traverse towards the production process and go to the other customers. So supply chain is also another area where the manufacturers to think on how can they reinvent the process. And another area is the assets in the factory. It goes for a scheduled maintenance or a preventive maintenance. So yeah, a supervisor of a maintenance has to go around the assets and do it. But now in the current situation, they have very limited time in the factory. They need to come and they need to be more efficient in the systems. So need some kind of innovation or thought process around those assets. Assets can be different. It can be production assets or utility assets. How to manage those things. So these are the area of that. And then finally, I have two more things. One thought is on the compliances. Already all the organization, I'm sure in the manufacturing, especially in the UK kind of a country, they have the strong environmental health and safety compliance planned for the company. Now for the current crisis situation, there are additional health and safety compliances are getting added. How to maintain social distancing in the factory, how to manage the communication between the people, and what is the time they're coming in, what are the times they need to check the thermal status. So these are the new compliances. Of course it's going to be a short time, but it's very important in this duration also. And the final part in my thought is on the communication part of it. So as a system, as an organization, we need to give a, whenever there is the challenge happens, we need to give a continuous communication to the companies saying that okay, this is what the challenge is happening in the organization, or this is a health challenges across the world, so this is what the mandatory to be followed, and for a better health and better safety perspective. So these are the areas where currently the traditional method of communications, compliance, asset management, supply chain, and people are planned. But for sure, it's an opportunity is available to reinvent or think in a different way to be more efficient in this kind of a crisis. So that's my thought, Ram, to adding to your things actually.
I agree with you, Ram, and I think
Yeah.
what you're telling people is now it is more than ever important for us to embrace
Yep.
digital technology, number one. And number two, from what you've told me, it is actually quite easy to do these things. It's not as difficult as people think it is. I'm guessing that's what you're trying to drive. Obviously, I know you, I know Ram Shankar, I know Maxbyte, I know the kind of work you've done on Industry 4 and Industrial Internet of Things and the kind of companies you worked with from ZF to Blue Star and all of them. Now, what I want to ask you is, what is your opinion that as a global IIoT provider, what is your opinion on how digital technologies can help manufacturers to basically sustain, restart, manage, and grow their business? What do you think? How do you think digital can help them in this?
Yeah, Ram, I personally feel that the digitization for the last, it was spoken for the last 10 years or so. So far, it was like, nice to have or a good to have. But for the current situation, I personally feel it's a must-have kind of a solution. So which will bring lot of insights happening in the organization, which will able to measure it, analyze it, and improve it. So in this context, 3 to 4 months back when we started about this crisis, we read about a lot of articles and we forecasted and we found and we have listed certain imperative or certain technology solution which could help the manufacturers in the crisis such kind of situation. I just quickly present few of that. Yeah, so the one is we call the smart connected healthy workforce. As we discussed, or as you also pointed out, the people are the first priority now, their health and safety. There are technologies available. For example, the connected workforce. What it means is how the workforce can, whenever they're coming into it, they can have their health scanned based on the artificial intelligence technology with the thermal readings, and based on that they can get sanitized, and it gets integrated to their attendance management system. So the management and the HR department, they know very well what is the health performance or the health index of their workforce, and how are they performing, and how best the manufacturers can help them in their personal as well as in their the professional work also. Similarly, when they go inside the factory, there are tags technologies are available based on RFID based systems, which will help them to maintain the social distance inside the factory or in the shop floor or in the office locations. So this will help them to indicate that are they maintaining the right social distance. And in the many of the cases, unknowingly we may go and talk to the people. So such kind of fatigue, so social distancing will help the people also. Another area we call it as a collaborative workforce. So what it means is, for example, there are trainings, as I said, now the new norms could be on the COVID-19 related health and safeties. So for that, we need to, again, there are a lot of trainings are going on. So we have very limited time available in the office or in the factory. So how the employees or the people can get the training very effectively. So where the manufacturer can think of the virtual reality based environmental health and safety, specifically on COVID-19 related the safety trainings, so they can be more efficient and they can be more effective, so that they can focus on the job very fastly. Similarly, in the collaborative workforce area, what we also talks about in the augmented reality based guidance. So now there are difficulty situations. Some of the employees or the supervisors or managers may not able to visit the factory due to some of the lockdowns. So in those times, the supervisors can even work from home and support the operators or maintenance engineers remotely using augmented reality expert guidance technologies. So they just use the operator, they just any questions or any discussions, any brainstorm they need to have, they can use the tab and look into the machines and ask them remotely, where they can guidance through the AR based technology. So such kind of the remote expert guidance technologies nowadays available, which can bring more smartness into the healthy workforce. Finally, of course, the robotics technology. There are the autonomous robots are available, where it can help the people to focus on the analytical thinking, focus on the data driven decisions, focus on continuous improvement rather than the physical the work in the shop floor, which is prone for the kind of the virus or the pandemic situations. So where we can operate the robots for the material movements, we can use it for the tools carriers, we can use it for cleaning purpose. So such kind of the operations can be managed by the robots actually. So these are the three areas specifically on smart connected healthy workforce we felt the industries, especially for the current situations, required on the from the technology standpoint of view. Another area is we call it as the manage. How can we manage COVID-19 restriction ease with Industry 4.0 technology? You can see there are multiple the solutions were given here. So there are 18 solutions which were splitted by different technology, like with the industrial IoT, immersive technology, artificial intelligence, connected people, and remote collaboration. I'm not going to touch the everything here. I will touch few of the points. For example, you can see the point number 2, the shop floor to top floor remote KPI manager. I hope all the manufacturer will agree that daily morning, I'm sure they will have a stand-up meeting in front of their the metric board or their KPIs on the cost, throughput, productivity, and health and safety kind of an areas. So nowadays, with the help of technology, so those things can be directly, we can take it from the assets or production process and material, and can be available in a KPI manager. So it will avoid them to be gather around the areas, and then so that they can discuss on remote basis, and with on instant data, they can understand what is the metrics or KPI happening in the shop floor on instant or in the daily basis. That's a one solution which really will help the industry. And also the other solution I would say on the point number 18, the remote mission OE and condition based monitoring. So this is specifically to reduce or to increase efficiency in maintenance process. So instead of the maintenance engineer going to the machines on preventive basis or for a scheduled maintenance or breakdown maintenance, so they can remotely monitor those machines and understand what is the health of the machine and how the machine's performance is, so that they can able to quickly talk about sorry, so they can understand how the machines are performing, and they can very well prepared if there any breakdown has happened, and directly go to the machine and solve the problem. So that's another solution where it can help. And also similarly in the energy and utilities, I remember with one of our customer, when we 4 years back, now we have deployed the complete digital manufacturing solutions for them in their 5 factories. When we start with their first factory, there is a one person always allocated to go around the factory and check the utilities consumption. When I say utility, electricity, water, thermal, gas consumptions in the factory, he note down in the paper, and his only work is the daily basis he has to do it. So now in the current technology level of availability, and also due to the crisis situation, it is not necessary to do such kind of a stream. So a person, the same person, can sit in a control room or in front of a desktop. He can monitor what is the energy consumption today, what is my gas consumption today, what is my ETP STP performance currently. So such kind of a remote energy and utility analysis will help them to avoid the travel. Instead of physical travel, they can sit in a space and analyze, and even they can bring more and more insights and be more efficient with these kind of a data. Another area also I would like to touch upon is on the again into the maintenance part of it, on the augmented reality area. So where it is more into the maintenance angle. Say for example, all the previous cases, whenever there is a breakdown happens, at least we need one or two people to come together and solve it in the machine live power. Now with the help of the remote expert guidance, even the supervisors or senior people can guide them from home or from their desk itself. Only the maintenance engineer can go to this place, and instead of having a paper based system, they can go with in a non touch mobile based system, which can guide what are the steps to do the maintenance process. So these are the areas where the technologies can help the people in terms of improving the remote collaboration, in terms of maintaining social distancing, and also help them in the health index, and also to be productive in even in the crisis situation. So very quick thoughts on this area around here.
Right, Ram, that was quite an extensive explanation of what can be done and how to do things. There was quite a lot of detail in there. Now, over the last 3 to 4 weeks at Equitas Engineering, we released a series of blog posts on digital transformation with some basic steps to how to do it. So the idea is we spoke about the people, culture, processes, and everything, which gives you a basic overview of why you want to do digital transformation and how you need to align your people, culture, and processes. Once you've done that, then you can start implementing digital transformation, which is actually going to be my next question to Ram, because I've seen the work you've done with these big companies with doing the digital transformation, big and small companies actually. Now, as an experienced professional in this field and as an expert, if I may say, what are your top, let's say, 5 recommendations or top 3 recommendations for a manufacturing company who wants to do digital transformation to accelerate out of this crisis? Let's keep it, in the interest of time, let's keep it to top 3 recommendations if we can.
Sure. So, in terms of the recommendation, I would say we should go for the smart, connected, healthy workforce. This is something very important solution. The second, which will help in the remote asset management, that could be the second. The third could be on nowadays the simple mobile app, which is can communicate like an one app for all the employees on a manufacturing company, where they can able to get the regular updates on the shift, and about the health and safety related things, and also with metrics board. So I think these three could be really helpful for the manufacturers.
What we would like to do is I'd like to go back to Ram, and we want to have Ram share some of the stuff that Maxbyte Technologies does with regards to Industry 4, like their Accelerator program and their digitization solution brochures. And what I'll do is I'll hand the floor back to Ram, who will be sharing something with you, and we'll be talking around Maxbyte's digitization solutions and industrial technology introduction packages. Ram?
Yeah. So, Ram. So first, I would like to I have another quick slide I will share here. So before I would like to talk about the digital transformation into the specific solution or the enterprise solution. So the digital transformation or industry 4.0 transformation, already it has been started by, at least I read some of the reports says that more than 20% of the organization are already started, large companies,
Mhm.
but still they feel they are getting failed because of it. So after our analysis and from our experience, I find these are the four reasons why an organizations are failing in their transformation. The one is they have too many ideas. Of course, yes, the ideas are good always, it's valuable, we need to record it, but what is the idea, and why that idea is required, what is the priority of their business. And for example, if I'm implementing an idea or a technology or a solution, for example, let's say predictive maintenance in the maintenance procedure, so is it really a priority for me of the day? Let me say another technology called overall equipment effectiveness analytics. So is it so? Likewise, there are n number of use cases available worldwide. Okay, or we can even bring more use cases. But what is the use case which is really going to help me? Is going to help my strategy? Is going to help my the current problem what I am facing? So that's really important for any organization. Similarly, the transformation approach is not structured or it's unstructured. When I say unstructured, it means that we have seen that there are bits and pieces of the digitization initiatives goes in different function in an organization. Even some of the organization, they doesn't know at the management level such kind of initiatives were taken and they are not aware of it, but they have a vision of moving towards digital. And even the different functions have their own way of starting their digitization. When they try to scale that kind of a technology, they're not able to do it. So this unstructured transformation approach is another problem why a company when are failing when they transform. Another area is the organization should understand what are their capabilities. When I say capabilities, the capabilities of the resources. Okay, resources can be majorly three means: man, material, machines, and of course the methods can also be included. Say, I'm for the sake of matter, I'm talking only about the resources point of view on the machine point of view. Say, let's take an example in a shop floor of an automotive component manufacturing, say a transmissions manufacturing company. In the shop floor, they may have advanced CNC machines or robots. They may have a special purpose machines. They may have a very old legacy machines. So what are their capabilities of accessing the data from those machines, and their understanding is very important. Say for example, in CNC machine, it's easy to get the data. We need to just put a plug and get the data, and we should be able to see the OE, we should be able to see the condition monitoring, and we should be able to see its health and performance. Everything is possible in just a plug of a wire. Of course, we need some license from the OEM of the machine. But in case of the special purpose machine or the very old legacy machines, it is not easy to retrieve the data as such. Actually, we need to install certain sensors, and we need to ensure the data coming from those sensors are really reliable, and then we need to extract it and do the lot of analytics to bring a lot more insights. So likewise, we need to understand the capabilities before starting any the digitization area. The final part is, when we also started with people end of the day, even though it can be a artificial intelligence or a digital or a robotics, end of the day the people are champion here. They should able to manage this digital transformation successfully. For that, their skill sets, their competencies has to be improved. So how skills they are in terms of how, what is their knowledge, how what are their habits, how they can be quickly adapt those skills. So these, without these skills, if I go and implement predictive maintenance, and the person was not able to understand those data and take decision, then there is no meaning in such kind of a transformation. So the skill set is another important area in organization to consider when they're going towards transformation. So these are the four things or the reasons we personally felt from our research, and organizations are getting failed into it. So what we need, so we need to approach or structure transformational process for an organization, considering their own strategic goals, because each and every organization have their own or strategic. Maybe they can be the same industry vertical, for example, automotive industry, or they can be in oil and gas, they can be in energy and utilities, but they have their own strategies, they have their own innovations, their own thinking. So with that, how can we have a structured approach is really important for the digital transformation. So considering this in mind, this is published by the Architect and the Aachen University. They have a Industry 4.0 Maturity Center. We are one of the partner with them. So they have published this model, okay, called the transformation approach model. It has the 6 stages. Okay, so in a high level, if I want to say, so what is happening in my company? Okay, and for example, my machines are working or not working. If it is not working, what could be the potential reasons for the downtime? And if it is, these are the reasons, what is the root cause of it, and how should I solve it? This is a basic visibility required in a factory. When they have such kind of a visibility, they can able to integrate such data with their enterprise resource planning or product lifecycle management softwares, or with their customer relationship management softwares, where they can able to get a transparent view where their exactly the enterprise is currently standing. When they have such kind of a data, which will allow them to predict or forecast and then be more proactive rather than reactive in the in their business models, or in their challenges, what are they going to come. So when we are able to forecast or predict, it will allow them to make it more autonomous functional, make them more flexible in the factory. The concept of the people talks about the lot size one. So how can we produce low volume with high mix? So such kind of a flexibility the organization would get. So this is a very holistic level, the thought leadership what Aachen University was published. I remember it's 7 years back. So considering this transformation as a procedure in the technology level, Maxbyte has come up with a smart way to transform your industry 4.0 vision. So we call it as Maxbyte Industry 4.0 Accelerator program. So in that, what we do is, so we start with the discovery. Okay, the major challenge in our experience is the business leaders or the IT leaders, they are not aware why I have to start digital, how to start, why to start, and what are the things I should consider. This basic awareness is lagging. They here and there they know about, say for example, predictive maintenance, they say about OEE, they know about the traceability, they just directly start going to the proof of concept of it. So instead, need a structured approach is what our thought, and we brought a concept of discover. I'll just cover it on the coming slides. When they complete the discover phase, they go into the startup stage, where they will have 10 plus different use cases which become the foundation or building blocks of their organization in each department. For example, maintenance, production, quality, logistics, even in the HRM department. So that become a 10 key use cases, become a founding or in a block. So it will become a founding block, so they can able to scale it fastly. So when they complete it, they can move towards 100 plus use cases in their across their existing factories. They can go for the other global sites actually. So this is a transformation approach what Maxbyte has come up with, which will bring in the business benefits like cost of goods savings, energy and utility savings, and also improve the people productivity. Very quickly, I will touch upon, for example, in discover phase, what we do is we do a industry 4.0 maturity assessment roadmap. It is actually a 2 to 3 weeks of engagement. It's currently due to the lockdown and the travel restrictions, we made it more remote and interactive and virtual session. So we do the assessment in the remote basis, and understand we have entry with all the functions in the organization, and generate a report, what is the current state of it, and what should be the roadmap for the next 3 to 5 years, what could be the potential business values and return on investments. That's a report we submit in discover phase as a first item. The second thing is we make a proof of value. So we take any one of the critical area, for example, say shop floor, where they have some 50 or 50 CNC machines. We take 2 to 3 machines, and make and provide the solutions like OE monitoring, maintenance, traceability, and then the energy monitoring, and so on, and then give them an experience how this technology really looks like, so that by seeing that, they also get an experience, and they can show the benefits to the management, get the buy-in. And the final part is skilling. So Maxbyte has a certification program called Manufacturing Digitization Management under our brand called The Factory Sense. It's an online learning platform. Has been made only for the manufacturing professionals. Okay, considering their own challenges, we have written this certification program. Already we have 300 plus certified people in this certification program, so which will help them to get an overview about the digitization, so that they have the roadmap, they have the proof of value and the experience, and they are also have a basic skill to ready to start their the complete journey actually. So this is what we are calling it as a discovery workshop actually. Once we ready with the discovery workshop, as I said, it has a startup, scale up and global scale up. It has multiple use cases. We completely mapped this with Akatech or Akan industry 4.0 maturity. You can see the visibility, transparency, predictability and adaptability, and each stages we have identified. This is specifically on discrete manufacturing. What are the key use cases required on each area? Okay, so when we do this kind of a workshop, the manufacturers can themselves choose for their strategic goal. For example, for this year my strategic goal is to reduce my operational expenditure by 10%. So for that, what are the use cases are available or available in like in a building blocks? They can just pick and choose and then see the benefits and return of investment, then they can able to scale it. So that's how we help them in startup, scale up and then global scale up in that transformation journey. So these are the way, Ram, how we approach the market rather than just giving a technology and showing some dashboards, giving some mobile apps. So we personally had an experience saying that that's not going to work, especially in this crisis situation. That's not really going to work. Really, we need to understand what is the essential, what is important for the manufacturers. So that's the reason our approach is towards the industry 4.0 accelerator program, and that's how we are working in the market.
That's fantastic, Ram. So from what you've told me, I'm gathering that the solutions provided by Maxbyte Technologies are flexible, transparent, and affordable for companies of any size. And there is basically some kind of a package that is customizable based on individual company requirements, rather than just have one size fits all approach. Am I correct in
Yep.
understanding
Yeah,
that as
that's
well?
right. That's
And
right.
I also want to point out another interesting thing that Maxbyte has in terms of what they do, which is basically called as the Factory Science Portal, which is a learning platform, which is basically you register it using your email ID and then you get in. There is a lot of knowledge and questions and forums and information available in the Factory Science. There are courses that you can take. There is digital classes and online learning and all sorts of things. I would say definitely explore the Factory Science. Now, as I think we're almost coming to the end of the time, aren't we?
And as Ram mentioned, we have the knowledge sharing community that's called the Industry 4.0 Knowledge Community. So under a brand called The Factory Science, so it is a community.factoryscience.com. You can have post any number of questions related to the Industry 4.0. It's completely free. A lot of experts available from the technology angle. When I say technology, sensor to software to analytics or artificial intelligence, robotics, the technology people are available. And also you have the manufacturing domain experts also available. So you can post any questions related to your the manufacturing innovation, manufacturing efficiency. You will get the right answers from the experts, and you yourself can do some polling and do it. So I encourage you to take this opportunity in participating this kind of a community. So
And I think we'll look forward to having you all at the next event in a few weeks' time. We will let you know when the next one is going on.
sure, yeah. So thank you, Ram, for inviting my accepting my invite for this kind of a session and sharing your valuable thoughts here. We hope we will bring another session into in the next level of the deep insights into the Industry 4.0 and its essentials. We will work it out, and we're going to come for the next session. So thank you everyone for participating in this session. I hope this is something valuable for you.
Yeah, thank you everybody for taking the time to speak. Well, listen to us speak, and we look forward to seeing you at the next event in a few weeks' time. We'll be circulating all the information, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day and have a good weekend. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye. See you. Bye.